are you? Hopefully this thing's working. I was having mic problems this morning. So how are all of you? I'm tired. I'm very tired. Today kicked my ass at work. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm out at the landfill with a box that won't even move on the roll off. It's a double hauler, so I had to move it from the middle to the end. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. And the rails were just fucked on this box. I didn't even load it. Somebody else loaded it for me yesterday. I don't even know if I'd have loaded this thing. It's holes in the side of the box, all kinds of shit. And I ended up having to find a spot downhill and back downhill and slam on the brakes until I finally got the box to move, because I didn't want to snap the cable on the transfer winch. The transfer winch wouldn't move it. And long story short, I got it off. I did my thing. Then I had to go pick up a big trash box, throw a tarp over it, big 40-yard trash box. No ladder, mind you. My big fat ass tarping that thing with no ladder. It's probably the only reason I don't weigh 500 pounds, is I do shit like that. Throwing a tarp on it, climbing up there and climbing down. I get plenty of physical activity. I don't run anymore, but I can't really run between my lungs and just injuries. I got a pretty good limp. I can still climb. Adjust myself. This fat Bob has the original stock seat on it, and I will say it will hold you on the bike, and if you've never been on one, you might want a good seat that's going to hold you on the bike. It's got a lot of torque, and you can have more torque. Torque is not a problem. I mean, why else do you buy a Harley? Watch, the light's gonna be red. Have more fun going the other way. There's no light to stop you and cars pulling out in front of you, or none of that for a little bit. Hello, neutral. Neutral's always there for you, unless you're parked at a red light trying to find it. It's easier to shift it into neutral as you're coming to a stop if you're going to do that. It's also better to leave it in gear, that way you can move out of the way when you hear those brakes behind you squealing. Hopefully you'll at least hear brakes. It's not one of them looking at their phone, never hit their brakes, because that's going to be bad. So a bad wreck today, it's still kind of stuck in my mind. It was grizzly. I think someone through here burns trash. I'm wanting to say every time I come through here I can smell something burning. Makes me think it's like electrical wires on the bike or something. It's too hot for this coat now. It's perfect in the morning, and now I got the sleeves all rolled up. I got it kind of unzipped, let the air go through it. Look like a parachute, but I'm not burning up. So there's that. That wreck this morning was a head-on. It was bad. Very bad. I am so tired. It's a long day at work. Well, not too bad. I only worked 13 hours today. So it was a short day. Freaking red lights. Texas, when we halfway have a curve, we will put a light there. Just to ruin your fun. No other reason. Just to ruin your fun. At least I get to see the sunset. My birthday's this weekend. I ought to put a poll up. Will my mom call? Will she not? Most of the time she don't. She doesn't worry about me too much. I do my thing. I always have. I grew up with the least and I need the least help. I grew up with basically nothing. I don't think I was bought any toys past the age of 5 or 6. And lost what I had left by the time I was 11. At 11, I had the clothes on my back. We were homeless. That's all we had. Then my sisters, you know, I'm way older than them, my younger sisters. I'm 10 and 13 years older than them. So they got all kinds of clothes donated because we were poor. People felt sorry for us. Not to me though. I didn't get shit. They sure did though. I just ran over roadkill. Fuck. Oh well. Hopefully there wasn't a bone in there. Popped my tire. But no, they could have wore a different dress every day. They got all kinds of stuff donated to them. I got nothing. I got 2 pair of the cheapest jeans my mom could find, 2 shirts, 1 pair of shoes. Christmas, well, my birthday, if I got socks for my birthday, I knew I was getting underwear for Christmas. But I've never needed any help. And they're younger enough than me. They started getting into electronics and all that. Internet was a thing when they were in school, that sort of stuff. It's just totally different. Raise this up. I do not trust these people. Other than me raising them while I was there, their teenage years were totally different. I became a teenager like 1990. I'm turning 46 tomorrow. Oh, day after tomorrow. So yeah, I was like 13 in 1990. Neither one of them were teenagers until this millennia. I did a lot of my growing up in the 80s, then early 90s. You know, 95, 96, hey, that's real world. I've never needed anything from them. Not that I would even take it. One of my sisters still lives there. Now granted, she does help. She does pay bills and stuff like that. She's not freeloading. You know, my stepfather's older, not in great health. Mom does need help, but she does still live there. The other one has too many kids. I love them all to death. They're amazing. I love my nieces and nephews. That's a lot of kids this day and age. Part of that's because the state of Oklahoma wanted her husband at the time to sign off to get her tubes tied. I can't remember whether it was like 3 or 4. They won't let you if you haven't had any, or if you've only had 1 or 2. I think the 3rd one or something like that. If your husband agrees, they'll do it. But that's Oklahoma for you. And she was going back to get the surgery done, and she found out, whoops, pregnant again. I don't give a fuck. I mean, you want to have the surgery done, you have that surgery done. I don't think your husband has any say-so in it. He can find somebody else. So can you. If he wants to get his shit snipped, you ain't got no say-so either. It's his business. Now, I can understand doctors not wanting to do something like that unless you've had at least one child. Okay, I get that. But to make you have multiple children before they'll do it, that is just bullshit. How the world is bullshit anymore. Who can we get you to hate? If you're left wing, we can point at these people. If you're right wing, we can point at these people and we can make you hate them. Is there some place we can go to war? We make money making war. How can we rile up the whole nation? And I definitely don't put our government beyond doing false flags and shit. Oh, look what they did. It's not like things like the Gulf of Tonkin ever happened, right? Where are those weapons of mass destruction again? How many of my friends did I lose? How many of them had life-altering injuries? Too many. And sadly, that's the only thing that brings this country together. A big disaster, somebody that we can all hate and we can all go kill. Left and right will come together. They'll take some more of our rights away from us. In the most patriotic way possible, you don't need those rights. We're going to sign them away because we need them for your protection. Patriot Act alone, literally the Patriot Act alone, I think Bush was the worst president of my lifetime. And I'm including Carter. I mean, Carter had a problem in the Middle East, but he didn't have any problem bombing little Asian people. Sure bombed the fuck out of them. He just couldn't make a decision. Not that Bush made a decision. Probably more Cheney. They ever going to give us his right spot? Nope. So who can they make you hate today? Who's coming for your job? Who's taking your resources? Who's a threat to the nation somehow? 6,000-7,000 miles away. Living in shit. I don't know, we armed them pretty well. Now that was the joke even in the first Gulf War. What was it? How do we know how do we know what they have? Who was it was talking about? Oh, Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks was like, oh yeah, we know exactly what we have. We know exactly what they have. All we have to do is look at the receipt. You know? Name someone we didn't train or arm or fund or what have you that we fought. Since World War II. I mean, hell, we trained the Vietnamese. We trained them to fight the Japanese during World War II. We sure got in there and armed and trained them Koreans. We kept half of them. Then there was Iran-Iraq war. Which side were we on again? By the way, our government wouldn't run drugs for cartels, would they? I mean, there wouldn't be any French connections in there, or any Contras or any of that. You know, so they could buy guns and shit, fund whatever group they're wanting to fund or arm without using tax dollars that's traceable. Will they do that? I don't recall. I don't recall. Yeah, I don't trust our government very much. I still love my country, I just don't trust my government. I mean, it's not like they'd shoot your wife standing on your front porch holding your newborn. They wouldn't do that, would they? No? Repeatedly drive over your only escape that they knew about with a tank? And fill your building with more CS gas than has ever been used before or since. And they know you're on candlelight power. Burn women and children alive. They wouldn't do that, would they? Where'd that other guy go that was with McVeigh? Everyone was talking about him and they shut up. What happened to him? I don't know. I mean, they got Nichols, they got McVeigh. He took it like a champ. He's like, I don't know what they offered him or what have you. He's like, no, I don't need any other shit. Just execute me. And they did. Where is that other guy? I don't know. What happened to Building 7? It wasn't even close enough for, like, fucking debris to hit. Those buildings fell in their own footprint. And even the debris that would have hit wouldn't have knocked that down. What about all that missing money? It seems a plane hit the building right where all that money was. Or at least the records of it. Whatever. It was all right there. Well, there's nothing we can do now. It all burned up. Miraculously, a guy who couldn't pass hardly flying school. He wasn't that great. Did a maneuver that top pilots can't do. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just wondering. It's not just that. We got stuff like this couple in Houston. Her name's slipping my mind. But the cops showed up with a warrant for heroin. The homeowner actually fought back. Fought the cops back. And the cops had to call for backup. If it wasn't for that, no one would have ever known anything else. He died. His girl died. She was in the bedroom. The cops were wounded. There's all this heroin found in the cop's car. So let me get this straight. They had a warrant for heroin. There was no heroin found in the house. But there was a fuck ton of heroin found in the cop's car. I wonder where that heroin would have been found if they didn't have to call for backup. All I'm saying, I don't know for sure. I couldn't tell you for sure. I don't know. It just looks funny. Just looks funny. So no, I don't trust the government. I don't trust their tools either.